This episode of the Neurodivergent Experience is brought to you by RTN Mental Health Solutions. With up to a 5-year waiting list for autism and ADHD assessments via the NHS, and that's even if you get a referral from your GP, getting an assessment in the UK has never been harder. So if you're like me and can't wait anymore, going private may be the best option for you. RTN offers online assessments for kids aged 6 right up to adults, with prices starting at £900. To make it more accessible, RTN can offer payment plans up to 5 months. You can access their remote services from the comfort of your home anywhere in the UK, and RTN offers group and one-to-one counselling, a private route to access ADHD medication following the assessment, and will even fight for you if your GP doesn't accept the results. So if you live in the UK and can't wait to get an assessment, go to www.rtnmentalhealthsolutions.com and use the discount code RTN23, making it even more affordable for all of our listeners to get an autism and ADHD assessment.
Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm Jordan James, also known as the Autistic Photographer, and I'm joined by my co-host and very best friend, Simon Scott.
And for this week of the Neurodivergent Experience, we are talking about trying to get through the ADHD crisis.
I'm so excited to be back, dude. Our listeners, you know, they'll be like, oh, it's only been a week. It hasn't. It's been a long time. We went balls to the wall doing many podcasts before.
We did so many before you went away.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy how many podcasts we did before you went away.
Well, because you went away and then I went away straight after. So we had like a 3.5 week period where we just didn't do this at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we were having to really cram them in, and I kind of got a bit fatigued by it.
Yeah, I also got a little bit tired of it. I was doing loads of editing, getting all the episodes together. And on top of that, my best buddy in the world was away, so I felt like Milhouse throwing his frisbee just to nobody for 3 weeks. So I was just like, come on, come back. And I literally rung you the other day. I was like, we're doing another episode. I was like, missed it. Come back, please. I've got no one to talk to. But no, I'm really glad that you've had a good break. I've had a nice break as well, and I'm feeling really recharged for what feels like a season 2 of this podcast.
It does.
New tunes.
Yeah, new music, new haircuts. No, same haircut. New music, same haircuts. And to be honest, I mean, you're quite lucky that we're not just doing this from Canada, and I'm not on the run from the immigration officers or something, because I did not want to leave. I feel like I should have been born there and raised there, and then my mental health problems probably wouldn't be anywhere near as bad as they are living in this country. And like I haven't done like photography, like really getting into it for a while. I did some in America, which was great, but this was like another level, and it's a trip that I'd been planning for 2 years. Sylvia and I, Canada was like right up on the top of our bucket list, and the Canadian Rockies. We went to Banff National Park, Yoho National Park, and Jasper National Park, and it was incredible. And just to top it off, I saw a grizzly bear, and I got pictures of a grizzly bear. I was at a safe distance with a very, very long lens. But at the same time, grizzly bear, right? That's my new obsession.
That's really cool.
So I'm getting a grizzly bear tattoo of the picture that I took. I'm going to get it tattooed on my other arm. But yeah, and I want to just say, happy birthday.
Yeah, I turned 30
You're old.
On the 8th of July.
Old.
I'm in the back 30
Old.
club. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest. Did I wake up yesterday with a little bit of existential dread? Yes. Yes,
Why?
I did. I was like, whoa, this is my life now. No, because 30 is a big round number, a number with a 0 on the end.
Oh, I wish I was still 30.
Hold weight. But this is the thing, is I've had a few people go, oh, you don't know. But I can measure a decade in my head, which is, a bit of a feat to have, especially when you've got an eidetic memory. It's a lot of information. Just turning 30 just feels kind of like I'm easing into it, but also it's a scary. But it was very nice at the weekend. I came home from work and I opened the door and my apartment was full of balloons and big banners.
Oh.
And Karis made a really, really big fuss of me. I've been really spoilt, not only by you, my friend, thank you for my gifts, but by my nearest and dearest as well. And to anybody that sent me a message, thank you very much. Feeling the love, feeling very spoilt.
I sent you a few little presents, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, you did, yeah. What always makes me laugh. Yes, yeah, you did shower me with gifts. And I did eat the entire packet of Jammy Dodgers you sent me on my birthday. So
that was cute, right?
Yeah, it was cute. It was very thoughtful, very, very thoughtful gifts. Like I say, it's been a big birthday, but people have made it feel big. They've made a big fuss of me. So thank you to everybody that's done that. It's been great. Tell you what hasn't been great, Jordan. Let's get into it. I've still not got my ADHD medication. It's been a month. I am
criminal.
raw dogging life. It's blimey, it's rough. I feel all over the place and I've just been staring into the distance so much and just being like, you can stop anytime, and I can't. I'm really missing it, mate. I'm really, really amazed at how people just don't care.
Yeah, ADHD medication, we first, as our family, first sort of realised the benefits of it when my daughter got diagnosed and she went on it. And she was prone to a lot of emotional meltdowns. She was going through that teenage hormonal period of a young person's life, whack on neurodivergence and new university life, leaving home, moving
crazy.
to Falmouth, doing it all by herself. She was kicking bum, she was kicking ass, but she is prone to meltdowns. She started on the methylphenidate, and it was the Sophie of the past.
That's game changing.
Oh, it was. It literally was, because I hear a lot of negative stuff. People. There's that stereotype of, oh yeah, it's going to turn people into zombies and they're not like themselves. I even watched a South Park episode the other day, actually, taking the mickey as they normally do. And, it was very negative, and it was that stereotype of like all the kids became like almost like zombies. And it really doesn't. I mean, if you're turning into a zombie because you're on your ADHD medication, you're on the wrong dosage. That is the only thing. It can mess up with your head because you're on the wrong dosage. That's what the titration period exists for. That's why you have regular checkups with your mental health clinic, because they are making sure that you are okay and that is the right dosage for you. It took me a few goes to get the right dosage.
It took me 6 months.
Yeah, but for Sophie, it just made her so much more chill, and she was able to deal with emotional situations a lot calmer, and a lot more thought processing was going on. And I've had a problem with my temper all my life, acting irrationally, not only temper, but just doing really dumb crap, just like putting my life at risk, literally putting my life at risk, as Sylvia talked about in that episode that we did with her. And the ADHD medication, I started on it, and my thought processing meant that instead of just getting irrationally angry at things that I shouldn't be, I was getting annoyed by things. No, it doesn't change my personality, it doesn't change my feelings, but I wasn't reacting to it because I was able to think clearly and go, oh, well, that really, really pisses me off, but I don't need to shout at someone, or I don't need to get angry in a verbal or physical way. I can just be angry and just let it go because I can't actually do anything about it.
Yeah.
And that's what it does for me. And it seems to do that for my son and my daughter.
And for me,
yeah,
that's the exact same response that it has for me. I find when I've not got the medication, things go through me rather than pass over me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at the moment, one of the things that I'm finding with it is the intrusive thoughts. It's just like with my ADHD, I find I have these whispers, and sometimes the positive, sometimes the negative. I don't really have much control over it. But with the medication, it's like I hear it, but I don't listen to it. When I don't have the medication, I can't help but listen to it. It's really hard to like avoid these intrusive thoughts and how I'm feeling with things. I find like my interception when the medication's not there is just wild. It's like, am I hungry? Do I need the loo? Am I feeling unwell? Am I feeling anxious? And I just spiral into these thoughts. But when I've not got the medication, it's like I go, oh, I'm not hungry. It's like I know what it is. Whereas when I find I've not got the medication, it's like everything's just jumbled up in my head. I can't almost seem to like pinpoint exactly what it is. But when I'm medicated, for some reason, boom, just go straight to the thought and can kind of look at it subjectively. Whereas I feel a lot more emotional towards things. And I think that's just genuinely because I feel more susceptible to meltdowns. I haven't had one, fingers crossed. But there have been times where I can feel, my tolerance is going really low and my patience is going really low. And I am getting a bit snappy and a bit short. And I am saying things before I'm thinking. Whereas I find with the medication, it almost allows me to have that pause in my thoughts. Just like to settle myself is this how I really feel? Do I want to react to this in that way? It gives me that space, but I find I haven't got the medication. My ADHD is in full swing. One thing I'm interested to know, Jordan, do you find this? When I'm on medication quite regularly and I take it daily, I find I feel more autistic. My autistic traits come out more. It's almost like I find my ADHD traits just wash over my autistic traits, and I'm not as peculiar or as particular about things when my ADHD is in full flow. But when I'm medicated, it's like I'm more particular about things. I have more of a routine. And what do you think about that?
To be honest, I tend not to separate these things in my head. I'm still running my hypothesis that it is just one single neurotype, and we will fit into certain categories depending on life experiences, depending on genetics, depending on what doctor we see or taken seriously by, depending on what is picked up and what is not. It annoys me still that ADHD and autism are two separate diagnoses. I think that should just be one diagnosis of TAN, the alternative neurotype. And then we are individually assessed for our difficulties and our abilities. I think that's the world I dream of. That's the world I want. I'm going to fight for that world. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, because I think that there is a lot of the problem is that ADHD doctors or specialists or whatever they want to call themselves, they only really know about ADHD. And I've been through this over and over again. When I saw the guy who diagnosed me ADHD, I knew more about autism than he did. And when I asked him, he said, he had like a working knowledge of it, but he didn't really have an in-depth knowledge of it. And I'm like, yeah, but you're diagnosing ADHD. Should you not understand autism? And vice versa. Everyone who's diagnosing autism should understand ADHD, because not every single autistic person will show the signs of ADHD and vice versa, but it is still one neurotype. And those diagnostic criteria are just words. They're just words. They're not an actual physical manifestation in our brain. It's not like half of it's ADHD, half of it's autism. It is just a brain full of various pathways that affect us in very, very different ways. And the fact is that the word autism, the word, the acronym ADHD, they're just that. They're just words. They don't actually exist in a physical form. Autism isn't an actual thing. It's not like it's an atom or a leaf or a particle. It's not science. I don't think psychology is science. I think it's very unscientific. I think it's completely opinion-based. I don't really put a lot of stock into psychology. I don't particularly, like the idea of psychology making huge decisions for people like us, because it gets those decisions because again, it depends on who you see and what they know. And it's all based on human error. And it's human error that is really screwing us up, because human error has come to the conclusion that autistic people don't need the ADHD medication, because it shouldn't be called ADHD medication. It should be called brain medication when you're not able to literally think straight. And a huge thing is it makes me think clearer, but it also makes me a lot less distracted by things.
Yeah.
Now,
definitely.
One of the first things I ever watched about autism was something called The Autistic Gardener. And on that, they were talking about autism, and they had lots of different young kids who were working with this gardener guy, and they were doing gardening as well. And they're all autistic. And they were saying that a big part of being autistic is being easily distracted. And I just went, isn't that ADHD? And I'm like, I know. It's like, okay, so if the big part of being ADHD and the big part of autism is being easily distracted by things and only liking to hyper focus on the things that we like and really struggling learning with the things that we don't like, surely that the medication that actually helps me with that would help me whether I'm autistic or ADHD. If you want to split them, it's going to be the same thing anyway. It's dumb. Yeah. It's dumb. I think the medical industry who can't figure this out are dumb, because it seems pretty bloody obvious to me. And I have heard that tests are being done, but not in this country. Not in this country.
It never is.
No. And what is the big problem in this country with the ADHD medication? Do you know that? Because I know it's not just this country, it's international. But
so I have heard so many different things. I've seen one article where somebody was saying that the main distribution factory was in Kiev, and that's why there's been issues, because they've had to move the factory. I've heard that people haven't put legislation through properly. I'm hearing lots of different things, but no clear answer. So any clarity would be amazing, mate.
Yeah, for me, the problem I have getting hold of them is the dosage. So my dosage, happy to talk about it. My dosage is 36 milligrams a day, split into 2 18 milligram tablets. So I need, for a month's worth, I need 60 18 milligram tablets, because I like to, have one in the morning and then one in the afternoon, and then it just sort of balances out during the day.
I'm working nights as well. It helps taking it later on in the day and stuff, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Sometimes I only need one. If I'm just chilling and I'm not really doing much, sometimes I need one. But the fact is that that's the dosage that, I discussed with my doctor, and that's what the conclusion we came to. But I'll go to, get it. And the thing about this is the worst thing is brands. For some reason, it's all about brands, and I can't get unbranded because my doctors, the place I go to, won't give unbranded.
No, mine's the same.
So you'll go there and you'll go, oh, okay, I need this many 18s. And they'll go, oh, yeah, we've got them. And I'll go, oh, great. And they'll go, oh, it's this brand. And I'll go, oh, my piece of paper says it's this brand. And they'll go, oh, well, I can't give it to you. But it's the same. This is methylphenidate, right? And they'll go, yeah. You got 60 18s. And they'll go, yep. So you can't give me the medication that I depend on, that I need in order to function like a human, rather than like some sort of crazy bat, that's had its head chopped off and just flying into things, just wings.
Yeah.
So I've waited all my life to actually function properly. And you're saying you won't give it to me because there's a different name on the bottle of the people that made it.
It's a joke. I've had exactly the same thing, where I'm usually on 36 milligram of Zagotin, and I'll have one tablet. Personally, I would like to do what you do, have an 18, and if I need another one, I'll take another one. But I'm aware...
Oh, you can cut them in half.
See, I've thought about doing this.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But one of the difficulties that comes with that is morally, if I'm having 60 tablets, then I'm taking 30 off somebody else, is kind of how I think about it. So I've just been like, right, I'll take the 36s. If I want to cut them in half, I'll cut them in half. Sorted. I went to the to the pharmacy. We've not got Zagatin, but we've got Concerta. Can I have that? Well, no, because your prescription says this. Right, I'll go to the day doctor. I'll go and sort it. Speak to the day doctor, get a generic prescription drawn up, come back 2 days later. They've gone now. Oh, great. Okay, so you ordered my medication in and you've given it to somebody else, is what you're saying to me. And they went, yeah. And I went, so you've given my wheelchair to somebody else this week? And the look on the lady's face, I was like, yeah, that is exactly what you've done. You have given my wheelchair to somebody else this week. And now I've not got anything. And she goes, oh, just come back in tomorrow. I'm like, no, I've got work. I can't just come back in tomorrow. I've got to go to work. She was like, oh, but what about on your lunch break? I says, no offense, love, I'm not going to spend the 1 hour of my break in my 9-hour day traipsing and driving around town when I need to eat. If you knew what we were like as neurodivergent people, crikey, you would not tell us to do the sort of things that you were asking us to do to meet the demands of finding this medication. It is so ableist. It is driving me insane.
It is pure ableism, because basically they're saying we're going to make you, we're going to make your life more difficult. We're going to make you drive around. We're going to make you queue up in busy, bright lit places, because most pharmacies like Boots are really bright lit places. Then I've got to queue up with humans. Gross. Do you know what? Do you know what? Right. This is great. Okay. Right. I miss COVID regulations. Don't miss COVID. I miss COVID regulations. Oh my God, people. We managed to keep 6 feet from each other for nearly 2 years. Why can't we keep it up? What is your issue? Why do you need to stand so close to me? I can feel your flipping breath.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We are in a queue for medication, which means a lot of people in that queue are sick, are ill. Why on earth are you standing next to me, you absolute germ-riddled creature? So this guy, I can hear him.
It's a lot.
And I just turned around and went, dude, back away. You are way too close. We're in a queue for sick people and you're standing next to me. Whatever you've got, I don't want it. And that's why I need ADHD medication. That's why I'm in the queue, because I'm stressed out enough as it is, just living my life, which is why I take the ADHD medication. But getting ADHD medication is stressing me out even more.
Oh, it's Ouroboros. Just bite your tail. Just in a constant circle of just...
And they don't care. That's the worst thing, is you get no empathy, you get no sympathy, you get just cold...
Everybody's going through it, so we've all got to go through it. No, we don't all have to go through it, because we're all different. And you need to make accommodations for everybody.
The fact is, I don't blame the pharmacies. I don't blame the doctors. I mean, I do blame some doctors for not just putting generic.
Yeah, you're not all going to get away with it.
Yeah. No, but just put generic. It doesn't have to be Zagatin or Poopy Mole, whatever brands you might want. But I'm thinking about just starting a new brand called Get a Life, because
just sell out in weeks.
Yeah.
So just add into one thing. See what you think to this, right?
Go on.
So I was in Boots. I had a neck breather. Everything, the whole shebang. It had rained. It was humid. I was not an happy boy.
No.
And I got to the counter, and the lady went, "Oh yeah, we're not going to get that in for a while." Just casually passing it off. I went, "Oh, when do you think you're going to get it back in?" She went, "November." It's like, what?
November?
What?
See,
and it was just like so casual. I was just like, right, peace out. Thanks for that. Go online, and apparently it is available from August the 8th. I know that because I do my research.
See, here's the other thing that I can't stand, is the fact that why do we have to queue up to find out that they couldn't get? Because I was told, right, oh, this place can't get them. You can call around and find out if anyone can get them. No, you can't, because do you know what is wrong with pharmacies?
Don't pick the phone
up. They don't answer their phones. They don't answer their flipping phones.
I've left so many voicemails, dude.
Oh,
I never get a call back.
My God. No pharmacy that I have called has ever answered answer your phone. There are people out there that need to talk to you. Answer your phone, you useless trollops. I am sick of it.
Oh, come on, Bezos.
Not having a go at them.
Get them on Amazon. Get them on
Amazon. I am not having a go at them for doing their job. I'm not having a go at them for not having the medication. What I'm having a go at them for is, and it's not them who I'm telling to do their jobs. It's not the pharmacists. It's the people who manage the pharmacists. Do your job properly. But as usual, with management at management level, they're normally absolute tit monkeys. And because this is the problem with management, is that most of them are just they haven't got a clue what's going on
the pay rise and for the CV. That's the only reason they're doing it.
Yeah, they haven't got a clue what's going on the shop floor. And I was talking to this lovely lady who could see that I was struggling, and she said, "Look, all we've got is 27 milligrams. That's all we've got." And I said, "Okay, I'll take them." But I have to go and get my prescription changed if I'm able to. And she said, I tell you what, I'm going to put them in a drawer with your name on it, just for you. And I was like, you are an angel. You are my literal hero. Thank you so much, because you have no idea how important this is for me. That medication really helps me. And so she put it in this drawer, and, I contacted my GP and I said, look, the only ones that are available are 27s. And they were so cool, actually. So on my repeat prescription, I have the option to order 30 36s, which then I can cut in half, 60 18s, which is what I should be having, or 30 27s, which is fine. That will get me through the day. I can't cut them in half. I can't, but it's better than the alternative, which is not having any at all, which is what I wanted to get onto, because that's the situation you found yourself in. So I'm getting through on my 27s, but you've got nothing.
Nope.
How are you self-medicating? Because there are options out there.
Yeah, so I am taking vitamins. I have vitamin D, I have magnesium when I go to sleep, I'll try lion's mane, I'll do lots of things like that. Exercise, if I don't exercise, crikey, I feel awful. Like, so groggy, really heavy.
Get moving.
Look, I really struggle with executive dysfunction. Even when I've got medication, I find, I love exercising. Oh God, getting me to do it. As soon as I do it, I'm like, I love this. This is great. Battle is getting it done. And exercise, non-negotiable. So other than, taking vitamins and exercising, caffeine, I have been drinking Red Bulls again. I have been having more than one coffee again. And I've not necessarily had really high blood pressure or anything like that, because sometimes I can get a bit like with the caffeine. But Red Bulls, I've just been having a Red Bull at like 2, 3 in the afternoon. And rather than getting that wiredness, I just go.
But it's funny, isn't it? All these stimulants like coffee, Red Bull, just caffeine tablets. Every time I talk
Plus and things like that,
yeah. Every time I talk to an ND, it's always the same. They say, "Oh no, they just chill me out." Like I can drink like a triple espresso before I go to bed, and I'll sleep like a baby, because and this shows how differently wired our brains are. Like, they're completely different to a neurotypical brain. The alternative neurotype, it literally makes us almost polar opposites to a neurotypical.
Yeah, we're a paradox. It shouldn't work like it does, but yet it does.
We wake up and we're ready. I mean, yeah, we're tired, we're knackered, but we have pent up energy. And a lot of the times when I am really, really tired and I'm losing energy, I find that when I have caffeine and when I have like Red Bull or coffee or whatever, what it does is it doesn't necessarily make me more awake. What it does is it makes my brain calm down, so it doesn't have to work so hard, because I don't have to sort of sift through all the junk that normally is flying at my brain. And what it literally does is it cleans my brain. Like, imagine going into like a hoarder's house and you can't find anything. So you've got those living rooms where they're climbing over things and they're saying, oh, okay, find me a tea strainer. And they go, well, I have one in 1962 and it's somewhere in a box here. You can't find anything in a hoarder's house.
A good way of explaining it.
And then you've got those people that come in and they clean out the hoarder's house and they put everything on the lawn and they take it away and then suddenly it's like transformed. That's how my brain is when I have a stimulant. It doesn't make me less tired. It makes my brain clearer, so it's less tiring to have to think.
Totally great way of explaining it. I always think of caffeine as like, when you see in cartoons where people are like hysterical and they just throw cold water on them and they go, oh, it's like, oh, I'm fine now. That's how that's what I feel like with caffeine is it's like, I'm like, turn off that light. Like somebody throws water on me and I just like, oh. It's like, oh, I'm fine again. I can deal with this now. That's
well,
kind
a big
of
slap in the face.
That's genuine. Didn't want to say it, but that's genuinely what caffeine feels like to me. It's like I feel like I'm being hysterical, and it just goes, and I'm like, oh, right, okay, sorry about that. I'm back in the room, I guess. That's genuinely the effect that caffeine has, and exercise again is the same. Does exactly the same thing. I find like if I'm doing press ups, I'm like, and then as soon as I've done them, I'm like, oh, I'm a much nicer person to today now. It's like I get that. Like that angst. It's like I find when I get a bit meltdowny, I get that like tense, clenchy shake, and exercise gets that out for me. And like even yesterday, I was at work and doing work in a bar, and they had a big delivery, so it was the keg delivery, and I used it as an excuse to go, get in there, you, like just letting it getting it out of my system. And then I went and had a Red Bull, and it was the I can chill out now. Just relax, and it's like my brain just goes, and just everyone just calm down, take a seat for a minute, and the interval will just let you back in. And then all the doors open again, and all my thoughts come flying back in after about an hour and a half.
Can I just recommend something as well?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, please do.
And it's something that I don't do. I did do it for quite a while, and it really helped. But I found alternatives to it, which is my photography, which is video gaming, and taking the medication, because I am able to get hold of it, even though it's a slalom run of Indiana Jones style Temple of Doom, just to get something that I'm entitled to make my life easier. How dare I, right? Mindfulness, not an easy thing to do, especially with the alternative neurotype, not an easy thing to do, I will admit. But, there are forms of mindfulness. If you learn the basics of mindfulness, you can adapt it and change it to suit you. So I can do mindfulness. I'll go and have a bath and I'll put on some Jack Johnson. Don't ask me why it's Jack Johnson. He's not my favorite artist, but there's something about his voice, his melodies that just absolutely turns me off. It switches my brain off and I can just relax. In fact, this is what sort of a year I had last year. If you go on Spotify, at the end of the year, they'll actually send you like a whole data thing of like what you've listened to the most.
Yeah, Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah. And it just, Jack Johnson was my most listened to artist. And one of his songs was my most listened to song. And I was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I had a stressful year last year.
Yeah.
And it's just something about those tones. So that for me is my version of mindfulness, because I can just switch off and I can just listen to that music and that's all I hear. And it just switches my brain.
Do you know, it never even occurred to me that you would call that mindfulness, because that's exactly what I do. I have soundproof headphones and I'll just sit and listen to some music that chills me out. And sometimes I'll even just lay on the floor, shut my eyes.
Mindfulness is clearing your mind of all thoughts. That's what mindfulness is. How you do that is up to you. There are, like I said, there are.
You don't have to like sit and hum, like, and close your eyes. No, it's just.
No, that's meditation.
Yeah,
that's different.
Yeah.
Mindfulness and meditation are different. You can have mindfulness through meditation, but you don't have to meditate to have mindfulness. So there are apps. Headspace is a good one. I got that for my daughter. She uses it regularly. You can track your sleep patterns. You can track your mental health, stuff like that. I have too much demand avoidance to be able to use stuff like that. Recently, I just got a sleeping app from the NHS because I have trouble sleeping. And they went, oh, try this app. And I went, let me tell you about PDA.
You just told me to do it. No, it's not
pathological
happening.
demand avoidance. I haven't even opened the thing, but I will.
Yeah, eventually. I got a Calm app for like a month, and I listened to it once. Sometimes I find things like that are just wasted on me. Not that I don't think they're brilliant and that they will work for people. And I tell you what, if you're listening to this and it works for you, I love that for you. That's great. But if somebody says to me, do you know what you just need to do? Just make a list of things or write things down or open an app or, try this organizer. Is your life a mess? Try this organizer app with AI. It will save you. That's wonderful, everybody. But I actually have to do it. And that's my problem. So, yeah.
Demand avoidance is troubling.
Troubling. And I wish people would take it seriously because they just go, just get a grip or stop being lazy. Or it's not that hard.
Yeah, being disabled in an ableist world, man. It is everyone's ableist to some degree, in the same way as I think nearly everyone is racist to some degree. Everyone is sexist to some degree. But, it depends on how much people let it out, I guess, and how much it affects others. But what I know is at the moment, there are millions of people around the world that are being hugely affected by this ADHD crisis, medication crisis. And it's not a joke. It's not oh, don't worry, we'll get it soon. Oh, don't worry, you'll get it in, like they were saying, oh, don't worry, you'll get it in November. It's like, do you have any idea what can happen between now and then? And I think we were talking about this before. You sent me an article that literally said that ADHD medication has been proven to prolong the average lifespan of a neurodivergent person.
Yes.
And that's mostly based on the fact that there are less accidental and premature deaths caused by us doing stupid crap.
And on top of that, it really does have mental health benefits.
Hugely.
Like I was saying with the intrusive thoughts, like I have a little whisper in my ear that tells me some really horrible crap.
That would be me.
Sorry, that ear, the other ear. No, but
sorry about that.
It's fine. It's like having the cronk on my. I'm hey, look what I can do.
Yeah, literally. I love that.
Literally,
Kronk rules. Love Kronk.
Literally, probably one of my favorite Disney characters.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolute legend. Even I have it in my own theme song running through my head all the time, and that's the problem without the medication. But genuinely, that is my head at the moment. But the mental health benefits. I have woken up a couple of days this past month and gone, I feel like crap. Like, not in a sense of physically, is in mentally, I'm like, I'm not going to tell myself nice things today. I can just feel it. And I have doubts and I question myself and I worry and it all just feels like I'm being hunted by something that I can't see. Just like, and just it's stressful. And I have coping mechanisms and I can, do apply mindfulness and I have self-medication that I can work with, but some people don't. And some people find that really difficult. And it would break my heart to think that by the time November comes around, people might not be here because of the lack of the medication.
Yeah,
and
as much as we joke around.
That is a problem. Yeah. That is a big problem.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that this medication, I mean, this is the argument. This is heated discussion that I had with my doctor. I said, why is it that I have to pay for my medication when it's lifelong? It's a lifelong medication.
A great point, Jordan.
Why do I have to pay for it when anybody else who has lifelong medication doesn't? So why do I? And they go, oh, because it's not deadly. And I went, you are diagnosing ADHD but you don't understand that it is a risk to life to have ADHD. It is life-threatening. Because, like I said, I have done the stupidest stuff because I don't think things through, because I'm reactive, because I'm just like, oh, shiny thing, and I run across a road and nearly get hit. I mean, I was hit by a car when I was 9 years old. I was hit by a car because I wasn't thinking clearly, and I saw my friend on the other side of the road, and I just rode my bike across the road to him. The next thing I know, I'm in hospital with a spiral break in my leg. 9 years old, could have died, but I was so lucky. But that's just one out of many, many things. And that was as a child. As an adult, I've done ridiculous things. I walked on a glacier to get a photograph.
It's not probably a good idea.
I've watched Pickle, my other best friend, like stand like a meter from the edge of a cliff, and then I sent him this video of all these cliffs just collapsing, because they do. Cliffs just randomly collapse sometimes. Yeah. When they go, they go, which is why I don't tend to go on them. And I'm like, this is what I'm always scared of you just of the cliff collapsing. But he's ADHD, and he's a photographer, and he's doing.
Look, you don't have to explain it. You literally were trying to find excuses for why you were taking a picture of a grizzly bear at the beginning of this episode. It's fine.
It was friendly.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
It
was friendly. I was at a distance. It's a huge killing machine, but it's fine.
His name is Boo, and his name is Boo. And he's friendly. Great. It's a huge reserve. So it's not like I was on a walk and one jumps out in front of me and I'm like, excuse me, mate, could you just I'm just going to take a few.
No, I know, I'm teasing. It's just so funny, isn't it?
And Sylvia's there. Ed, do you know what? Sylvia was so scared of bears. We had bear spray. When you walk around the Canadian Rockies, you've got to have bear spray.
Spray deodorant at them. That's just.
Yeah. That don't work. They're just like, I smell nice while I'm eating you. No, she had bear spray, and that woman was doing so much research on bears. And I literally, when I got there, I went, we don't need bear spray. We can outrun a bear. You can't outrun a bear. They run like 50 kilometers an hour.
Dude, have you seen those things run up trees, man? Like,
grizzlies can't get up trees. Young grizzlies can. I know so much about bears now. We could do a whole podcast on bears.
No, we haven't got time.
Yeah. Oh, damn it.
I haven't got enough. If I had the medication, maybe I would, but I don't. No bears, no bear episode.
Yeah, but yeah. My whole thought process, this is on the ADHD medication, by the way, and I'm still a complete lunatic. My thought process was, we just walk around, and if a bear comes, I'll just shout at it. I had done no research whatsoever on surviving bear attacks, because I was like, whatever.
Have you not seen that film with Leonardo DiCaprio? I'm pretty sure he shouts at it.
No,
he also gets pretty messed up.
No, nothing like that would ever happen in real life.
Oh dear. Well, we'll wrap up there, guys. But before we wrap up, it's time for Jordan's quote of the week.
There is no such thing as a kids' movie. Movies are for everyone to enjoy, or in the case of the last Doctor Strange movie, be immensely disappointed by.
And that was Jordan's quote of the week. So disappointed in that last film. It had everything going for it apart from the plot.
Well-written story.
Yeah, who would have thought? Well, everybody, that is it for this week's episode of the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope that you've enjoyed it. And if you have enjoyed it, give it a like, give us a subscribe, whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, at the Neurodivergent Pod, also on Instagram. And that's it from us, Jordan. I've missed you, mate. I'm really glad that we're back to doing this, and I can't wait until next week.
I can't wait until September when we're doing the live.
Oh, yeah, should just drop that in there. Friday, 20th of September, Cardiff, Autism. What's the thing called again?
Autistic Minds.
Autistic Minds! Go and see the Autistic Mind. I was like, I forgot the second word then. I can't repeat myself. So Friday, 20th of September, Autistic Minds event at the Cardiff City Stadium. And it's like a big conference thing. I think that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, and
every time I
you can
talk
meet
about
us
it, I get anxious.
and get selfies with us. And if we might start like a little game that if enough people have a selfie with us, we will do kisses on the lips with each other.
Right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.